Creating a salvo. The salvo screen itself shows no connections when you first open it. It's a blank grid. We sometimes get the question, do all my existing crosspoints have to be added as part of the salvo I'm creating? I don't see them on the salvo grid. The answer to that is no. A salvo only affects the crosspoints you configure for that salvo. A salvo can make or break multiple crosspoints with a single action. A salvo can be activated by a number of means. You can use the Fire button on the salvo's Macros tab in Navigator, configure a logic input to activate the salvo, or configure a spare button on the console to activate the salvo, just to name a few. In this example, we're creating two simple salvos, changing the route of the LX offline and LX program buses with Salvo 1, and changing them back to their original routes with Salvo 2. Go to the Salvo's Macros tab in Navigator. Click the New button. Click the Rename button, and name the salvo as desired. Make the desired connections in the grid for the salvo. In this case, we're connecting LX offline to out 2 and LX program to out 1. Next, we need to create our revert salvo to replace the routes where we had them before Salvo 1 moved them. We will call this one Salvo 2. Click the New button. Click the Rename button and name the salvo as desired. Now make the connections that restore LX offline and LX program to their original routes. Remember, the Salvo Edit screen does not show you the existing connections in the system grid, which is the screen you are accustomed to seeing. If there is a crosspoint that appears in the system grid that you want disconnected as part of a salvo, right-click on the destination and select Disconnect Destination. This creates a blue horizontal line in the salvo, meaning when the salvo is activated, it will disconnect the source connected to it at that time. It's important to point out here, if you're relocating a crosspoint as part of your salvo, there's no need to use the disconnect feature. It is only for disconnecting a crosspoint you want disconnected as part of the salvo that isn't being relocated automatically as the route changes. Congratulations! You have just created two salvos.